Hey guys, this is Kaim Interviews. We are here with Ben from Neck Deep. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm very good, man. Chilling. Last day, so it's all good vibes. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and the you guys just got done like a couple hours ago. Great crowd. How did Pomona compare to the rest of the tour?
Well, California, I feel like it was good to end in California and, end with a bang. All the California shows were awesome. Yeah, there's something special about California, man. I don't know what it is. I think punk is just kind of in these kids' bloods. I think they're just born with it. And yeah, there's something about it. They just go extra hard. But the whole tour has been amazing, man. There's been some really, really cool dates. The Northeast was really good. Texas was awesome. California's been awesome. Yeah, no complaints. No complaints. Yeah.
So your new album, The Peace and the Panic, is coming out very soon, and you guys are playing some new tunes from that here on Warped. How have those songs versus other songs been, John Feldy? How have the songs from your new album translated live for the fans that already pretty much have them learned? I mean, they kind of already have them.
Yeah, really, really well, man. Like, we're lucky that. I think one of the things I can write a hook, I can write a catchy thing, and I think especially some of the new songs like Rain, Rain, Go Away, everyone fucking knows that, so you don't even have to learn it, it's already just there, and we have some dedicated, some loyal fans who love what we, like, pretty much everything that we put out, and yeah, I think it's a mixture of that and them just being catchy songs, but they've translated live super, super well. Like, playing new songs live is always kind of weird for the first couple of times, because it's like, the main thing is like, how do I move to this? How do I like vibe to this? Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? But since we've been doing that all Warped now, we've kind of like, we've got a good little system going now, and we figured it out. Like, so yeah, now that we feel comfortable playing them, I feel like they translate a lot better. The fact that the crowd get way more into it, and yeah, man, it's awesome. I'm stoked. I'm stoked that the new songs are going down just as well as some of the old stuff. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I have that actually written in my notes. That Where Do We Go When We Go has a cool little jingle. The Rain, Rain, Go Away. Was that intentional in the studio to write something that translates well live?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. We always write with shows in mind. Mike Green, the guy that we produced it with, calls certain parts of songs that the crowd goes woo moment. So like immediately, yeah, if you're looking to put a crowd goes woo moment in there, you're looking for the songs to translate live, and I think maybe that's where some bands fall short. I'm not being specific. I wasn't aiming anywhere, but like sometimes songs can be fucking amazing on record. And then live it just doesn't translate quite so well, whereas I think for us it's almost like the other way, like it's even better live. I think we kind of, because then you have the energy to go with it. I always say that fans feed off us and we feed off them as far as the show goes, so if they see us rocking out to a new song, or then they want to rock out too, and that's so yeah, we definitely write with the live show in mind, 100%. It's like almost the main consideration is like, what's going to sound awesome for kids to, what's going to be a huge crowd part, what's going to be, which parts am I going to give the mic to the crowd for? You know what I mean? Like, they're the moments you're looking for sure.
Definitely. And so one thing I want to talk about is the lyrics for this upcoming record. It's been a while since your last record came out, and I've heard that you're a perfectionist from your bandmates personally. They've told me, oh, Ben is a perfectionist. So what was it like for you? How many songs got scrapped, or how many lyrics got scrapped, rewritten, etc.?
Oh, dude, so many, man. So many lyrics got scrapped and rewritten, and I can write 2 or 3 versions of songs, or at least verses and stuff and choruses, and say, and I always go to the band and say like, hey, which of these do you prefer? And they're like, yo, any of them. And I'm like, really? I think they all suck. And they're like, no, they're all good. And I'm just like, oh yeah. But that's me being I'm not a perfectionist in fucking anything else in my life. I'm very like laid back with most things, and I'm very easygoing guy, but when it comes to writing lyrics, I like have to get it right, and it has to be perfect, and the statement I'm trying to make has to come across, and it has to be eloquently worded, and it has to be catchy, and it has to rhyme, and it has to do all this stuff. So I'm very, very particular with my lyric writing, but yeah, I rewrote a bunch. I always write a couple of versions, and I scrap stuff that I don't like. If there's something that niggles at me, I just scrap it and I go again, and there was a lot, man. Yeah, but that's kind of part of it, It's good though. I like that. It kind of gets your brain working, It's like a puzzle almost. I always see a song as a puzzle, and trying to sometimes it can just be a one word that you change that can unlock the whole thing and make it all make sense. And that's what I love. I love it when it finally comes together, when you get that chorus down and you're like, yes, I've been sat here for days, hours, weeks, just trying to get this chorus down. When it finally clicks, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I heard recently that Sam from Architects is featured on the album. So, I mean, talk a little bit about that. That's an insane, different genre. So, I mean, talk about that.
Yeah, it was a cool crossover for us just because, we had toyed with the ideas of guest vocals, and I think the label were like, hey, do you want us to, reach out to anyone? And we were kind of just like, nah, I don't really think there's a part for it, and we don't want to just have a guest vocal for the sake of it. We didn't want to just, throw another pop-punk vocalist on there and it be, hey, that's a guest spot, you know what I mean? That cool, it's just someone else singing on the track. But, and we said we would only do it if the right opportunity arose and it was something cool, We weren't always necessarily hoping for, a heavy vocalist to be on, but it was like, hey, what if we had a pop singer or a rapper or a fucking, what if we had a part that would suit that? And it just so happened that, Danny ended up writing a song that's called Don't Wait. And,
he loves hardcore. And
he loves hardcore and he loves heavy music, and that's Danny. Are you off, man? Peace, man. Yeah, take it easy. Hell yeah. See, last day vibes. Danny's a big heavy fan, and so the song Don't Wait, was more of those more heavily orientated songs. And immediately when it got to the bridge, I was like, Sam Carter. We need to get Sam Carter on this. Because, British band, two British bands that support each other. Sam's sung with us on stage before. He likes the band. And I know Tom who passed, the old Architects guitarist, R.I.P. Tom Searle was a big Neck Deep fan. He really liked our last record, and I think, I think that maybe has something to do with that. Our manager is very, very close with the Architects guys, and Sam Leander mentioned that maybe because Tom was such a fan of Lights Not Out to Get You, and that maybe Sam felt like it was the right move because he knew Tom would approve kind of thing. So yeah, it was cool. I think Sam thought it was a cool idea. We thought it was a cool idea. It was a great crossover. Both bands support each other. Two British bands from different genres, and yeah, I think it was just that's the kind of guest spot you want. If it's gonna be a guest spot, it has to be unique. It has to be interesting, and I think we absolutely hit the nail on the head with it. And when you hear it, dude, his voice on Sam's got a monstrous voice anyway.
Most pissed.
Oh, absolutely. And his vocals, in a way, I think he was one of the first really, really good metal vocalists of our generation of metalcore and whatnot. He was by far one of the standout vocalists, and still is one of the standout vocalists in the scene. So to have him on a track it's actually an honor, because we're all huge Architects fans as well. I have been since before the band. So yeah, to have Sam Carter on one of our tracks it's wild. I think people will love it though. I think they're gonna really like it.
I'm stoked to hear it, man. So I want to talk about that. You already kind of mentioned it, that Danny wrote that song. So, and Danny told me that you guys all pitched in to write songs and whatnot, and that's kind of a new thing for the band. So I mean, how did you guys go about making it still cohesive but still neck deep? You know what I mean?
I think without thinking, but I think when I put lyrics on it, and and I think this was actually one of the beautiful things about us all writing, is that I feel like Neck Deep now can kind of do anything, because as long as you stick my vocals and my voice on the top, that's Neck Deep. We have a sound for sure. Danny's drums are obviously a sound. It's it's more often than not very drivey, very riffy. But there's some songs on this album that are a little different, and they're a little slower, maybe a little bit more down tempo, maybe more of a rock orientated vibe. There's some that are heavy. There's heavier songs. There's slow songs. There's indie songs. There's rock songs. And I think really we kind of went in just saying hey, let's try and make this album really varied. Let's show people what Neck Deep can do. Let's leave every door open and be able to do whatever we want after when this record is out, and when we're ready to make album 4, 5, 6, whatever, that we can really do whatever the fuck we want. We can just say, we're Neck Deep, and as long as the message is Neck Deep, and as long as that's there, that's what's gonna make it. That's what's gonna make it all kind of come together. And that's not me blowing my own horn. I think that's just how people's brains work. People attach the vocals are always the low-hanging fruit, man. That's what people go for. They're the low-hanging fruit. So when they hear the lyrics and the vocals, that's when they get, okay, this is Neck Deep. I know this is Neck Deep because I can tell by the voice, I can tell by the lyrics. But then, you go past that, you climb the tree, you get the other, you see what else is knocking around, and you go, that's neck deep too, and now we've opened the door, so I feel like it would be hard for people to put their finger on what neck deep is, or what they expect from us at least. So I think like obviously you have to kind of have a balance. You kind of have to, you don't want to stray too far away from what it is that makes people love neck deep. But I think just personally with the song, with everyone writing their own songs, everyone was with the intention of like it still needs to be neck deep. It still absolutely needs to be neck deep. And that was always the consideration, and I think everyone pulled together really well, and because we all kind of pitched in, and because we all kind of have slightly different influences, but a lot of the same influences, that it came across as this really diverse record, and came across as something different than Neck Deep had never done before. And that's what we always want to try and do, is write really good, consistent records, but to be constantly growing and adapting, and without sounding fucking cliche, like it's a more mature record, and that's good, but it is, and you'll hear it even I think with some of the new songs that are more similar to our old stuff. They do sound a more mature version of our old stuff.
I want to talk about that, similar, like something that sounds like your previous record. Do you have that signature sad ballad that, like similar to December on this record?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's a song or two on this record that people are going to cry to, for sure. There's a song on there called 1970 something, which is about I lost my dad just before making this record back in October. It's actually his birthday today. Peace, Daddy. Yeah. And so that was a difficult experience, obviously, for me. And Phil lost his dad as well, like a couple months before. So yeah, we went through some stuff. So obviously that in itself, that event, what I went through there was that was a real cornerstone for the record. I feel like a lot of the lyrical influence came from that, and came from a place of that. It definitely put me in the mindset to write songs, And 1970 something, I didn't want to write a song that was like, I told myself I wouldn't write a song that was like super blatantly out there about like my dad and stuff, because I was like, I don't want to like cry about it, and I don't want to be, I don't want to like woe is me about it. But it just happened. It happened. I was having a rough day with it on tour one day. Like, we were in Europe with A Day to Remember. It was like the last song that we went into the studio with, and that was the last song that we wrote like pre-studio. We wrote other songs in the studio, but and I was really sad one day. I was really down about it. I was thinking about it a lot, and I was just sat there with a guitar and just like, had this, put this chord progression together and stuff. And it's essentially the story of my parents and how they met, because that's a bit of a Wonderland story in itself, like that's a bit of a fairy tale story even, and it's really that whole story, and then kind of just ended up being a song about family and how important it is, and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's an incredibly sad song, but with this weird like optimism to it. There's a strange happiness to it, as with all Neck Deep stuff. I feel like we can write sad songs, but as long as the message that kind of underneath it all is, there's another message below that. Is, it's layered in that way. Like, yeah, that's what the aim is. It's not an outright sad song that's like, oh, how shit is life. It's more a celebration of life and a celebration of the good things in life, and what I kind of learned through the experience of like losing my dad. So that's the sad ballad for sure, though. For sure, people will know when they hear it that you'll get it. Yeah, it's a big one. It's big.
Interested to hear it. So lastly, what is your personal favorite from the record? Perhaps the one you just mentioned, but that's something.
Actually, I mean, like, that is one of my favorites, absolutely. And as well, the sound of that song as well, I forgot to mention, is like, sounds kind of poppy, but it's not. Also, I feel like it's again, even musically, that song was us trying to do something different. So that's one of my favorites for sure. 1970 something is for sure one of my favorites. There's another song called Parachute, which is again, that's us trying something else in way more of like an indie rock kind of vein. Pardon me. But my favorite, without a doubt, hands down, I love all the songs on the record, but my favorite for sure is a song called In Bloom. And that was actually the first song that we wrote for this record. And I wrote it maybe about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, like a while ago. And I remember it was just something, and for the longest time, it was just a verse and a chorus. And Sam built on it, because when I write stuff, especially if I'm writing guitar stuff, my playing is very limited. I don't really know where to go with chord progressions and stuff. So once I get a basic like verse and a chorus down, I gave it to Sam then to say like, hey, where can we take this? And oh yeah, it's awesome, man. There's so much energy in it. It picks up. It starts off real kind of somber and slow, and it picks up on the first chorus and keeps. Yeah, it has this energy to it, and it has this sound to it that, you know, no other Neck Deep song has had. And I think it's got a chorus that, you know, it's a huge Neck Deep chorus, but at the same time, I think like it's gonna speak to a lot of people, and I think, you know, it could really help branch it out of where we're at now. You know, I feel like it could appeal to a much broader audience than just what we're appealing to, while at the same time still being Neck Deep and still appealing to our fans now. But yeah, man, honestly, I will go out and say it, I think it's the best, one of the best, if not the best Neck Deep song that we've ever written. I think personally. I mean, you know, music is subjective always, and obviously I'm biased because it's a new song, and you know, I'm just stoked on it. But In Bloom, yeah, that's a huge track, and I'm stoked for people to hear that one.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll make sure to look for that, and the album comes out in about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, August the 18th. Yeah.
August 18th. And via Hopeless Records, so make sure to go pick it up or stream it on Spotify, YouTube, etc.
Download it illegally, I don't care.
Download it.
I don't care, yeah. As long as you listen to it and enjoy it, I don't care.
Yeah, listen to it and come out to a show. You guys just dropped dates for January tour.
Yeah, January, full US. There have not been supports announced just yet, but full US in January, and I think into October too. But tickets are available now. You can go and get tickets now. Go on Neck Deep social media. You'll find it. You'll find it plastered around. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for talking with me, Ben.
Absolutely, man.
All right,
No worries.
Kime Interview signing out. Later.